Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I know today is a holiday, so I really do appreciate those of you who are here on your 3-day weekend to enjoy this time with me. I hope that you are enjoying this series. I have a little bit more for you guys today and tomorrow for the proven preschool enrollment formula, and then we will be done. I'm actually going to jump on my phone right now so I can see if you guys leave any comments. I have a hard time getting to the comments on these live streams. So if you guys can give StreamYard permission, it should stay right on top to give StreamYard permission so that I can see your comments. I love the interaction with you guys. This streams live to YouTube, my YouTube channel, and then Facebook, of course. So let me know. Again, I'm going to introduce myself once again for those of you who do not know me. My name is Evelyn Knight. I am the host of the Child Care. I'm sorry, I'm having brain freezes this morning, like one after another. I am the host of the Child Care Business Coach podcast, and I am the CEO and founder of Child Care Business Professionals, which is a company that helps owners and directors find success while keeping up with their high quality standards for the children. It is very important to me to make sure that the children come first. I'm also a child care center owner. I've owned several centers in my past, and I was actually having a conversation with somebody over the weekend who messaged me, and we were talking about they asked me how is the best way to go about being a first-time owner. Should I take over a center? Should I open a new center? Should I build from the ground up? Should I just refurbish a building? I've done it all. I have actually built from the ground up. I've had my own in-home child care setting. I have taken over centers. I've taken over a couple centers. I've done that a couple different times. I've also taken centers that have been shut down and reopened them. I've taken over existing centers, and each one has a pro and a con. And as long as you know what you're doing, that's what I have to say. You can, either way, no matter how you choose to do it, you can get yourself into some trouble if you don't know what you're doing. The legal and financial, that's why I've been able to take over centers, because I've basically been able to come, it's pretty much how I started my career. My first center I did build from the ground up, but then I actually had a few different people of center owners that were going bankrupt, and they started approaching me to take over their centers. And then the state of Nevada started coming in and asking me, different officials in the state started asking me to help with taking over centers that were basically going bankrupt and helping owners, which I much more enjoy, helping owners save their centers rather than taking it over for myself. And it's a lot more profitable when I take them over, but I would much rather prefer helping somebody save their center than taking over an existing center. So good morning, Alana. Alana is off today. Yay, you're off today. But so I've done it all. So if you guys have any questions, be sure to message me. And so that's just a little bit about me. I'm going to be joined shortly by Prerna Richards. Some of you guys may know Prerna. She is an extraordinary classroom management coach. She's also a NACCE accreditation coach, which I actually do work with her myself. And say hi as you jump on. I see Lisbeth is on. Sherry, hi guys. Oh, Sherry, I hope you're taking that boat out this weekend. If you're off today, you might be working. You tend to be like me. You kind of like to work. So otherwise, I hope you guys take out the boat. So today I was going to talk to you guys. I am actually opening up spaces in my membership. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about that and what that looks like and why have a business coach. I have a coach myself. I have for the past 7 years, and having a coach really just changed. Did you guys see my cat walk by? It really changes the course of how your business works. When I first started, I've told you guys about the struggles I've had. If you watched last week's videos, I did tell you guys Friday, I told you about how I almost faced bankruptcy and how at one point I had an eviction notice on my center's front door. I'm not going to go over that again. I get very emotional when I talk about that. And so I'm going to try to avoid that emotional meltdown like I had on Friday. But it's hard. And so I ended up hiring a coach And it was one of the best decisions of my life. I'm sorry, Prina just messaged me, so I was just checking to see how she's doing. So the coach really changed the course of my life. The thing is that most of us are not business people. We don't know business. We have a passion for children, and that's what we go with. But we don't know how to do a staff schedule. We think we have things like employee handbooks. Well, we do have employee handbooks, but what we don't have are policy and procedure manuals, right? You think you do, but you don't. If you have a manual that has like what your employees' schedule is, when they get paid, what you charge for childcare for your employees, things like that. Even if it's an overview on this is what is acceptable for discipline and guidance, this is what is unacceptable. That is not a policy and procedure manual. A policy and procedure manual is going to get very detailed on how your teachers are expected to do everything. For example, I have like my biting guidelines, right? So every time a child bites, the teachers have a guideline they know to follow. It's the same thing every single time. The other thing we have are like nap time procedures. It spells out exactly what do I expect of my staff during nap time, right? They know exactly what is expected of them. Playground procedures, same type of thing. So those are all things that I help with because so I didn't know. And that is huge difference between being a daycare that isn't high quality and transforming yourself into a preschool that is the highest quality. It does take those business principles. And so that is where coaching comes through for me. And that is part of what I changed. When I hired my business coach 7 years ago, she taught me how to be a business person. So I was able to marry my passion for doing what's best for the children, having that high quality early childhood environment. I married that with the business practices, which is why I now have a successful childcare center. I also had a coach help me learn how to have a high quality program, right? So we do both here. And that is what really is so important. And 7 years later, even though I really do know what I need to know, I still work with my same business consultant coach. And I work with her for accountability. That is another key piece to the puzzle that I provide for my clients. Many of my clients have been with me for over a year, and they stick with me because I keep them accountable. We have a monthly phone call where we go over where they want to be, where they should be, and we bring that together, and we just basically make sure that they're getting things done. I help them create basically the trajectory. So what we do, and I'll tell you really quick what we do, you guys, what I do with all my clients. I basically try to figure out what is your 10-year goal, right? Where do you see yourself? If you had a magic wand and you could just project yourself to where you want to be in 10 years, what would it look like? Right? And then we backtrack. And this is what I do for myself. I think, what am I on? This is year 2 of my current 10-year goal. I do this all the time throughout my life. And that's why I am where I am today. So then we look at, okay, so what do you need to do in the next 5 years to hit that 10-year goal? Then what do you need to do every year, right? And then you break it down by the year. So I look in January every year at what do I need to accomplish this year to get to where I need to be in that 5 year to get to be by the 10 years, right? So I'm in year 2 of this. So I'm 4 years or 3 years away from that 5-year goal. Then I also take it down a little bit further. And this is where I work with you guys too, where like, okay, now where do I need to be every quarter? What do I need to accomplish every quarter in order to get to that goal? And then every month, I look at the month. June is tomorrow. So today is the day that I work on this. Or I look at, okay, what do I need to do in June to make sure that I'm getting to that quarterly goal? And then every Sunday evening, I go through, okay, now what do I need to do next week to make sure I'm hitting that monthly goal? And every day I look at my calendar. I have a paper calendar. I have my phone calendar, and I figure out what do I need to do today. There's 3 things that I need to do every day that I work to make sure I'm getting to that goal. And I'm really looking at that 10 years. And I'll tell you guys, with my last 10-year goal, I got there in less than 5. And it is the most amazing feeling when you create that magic wand picture, right? I sat down with myself and said, if I had a magic wand, where am I going to be in 10 years, right? And when you look at that plan and it's all there, you did it. It is an amazing feeling, especially when you get that done in 5 years instead of 10, right? And I can tell you now, after that, my 10-year goal this time is way bigger and much more bold. And that is one of the things that I want to help my clients with is I want you to have these big, audacious dreams because they can happen. I know sometimes when you're struggling, it feels like there's just no way. But I can tell you guys, I went in 2012. I had an eviction notice on my childcare center's door. Okay. I had an eviction notice. I was literally, it got that bad for me. And I told you, if you didn't watch the story, you got to watch Friday, where I told you guys about how I thought I was done. I mean, I had a mass exodus of teachers. My staff thought I was done. There's a few who stayed with me, but I didn't give up. And not only did I not give up, but I also got to those goals very quickly, right? So I needed my business coach for that. That is what I needed her for, to help me stay focused, to help me understand and see things from a different perspective. When you're in the fishbowl, you can't always see what's around you, right? So having someone come from the outside and look in is tremendous. And you guys have no idea what kind of relief it can bring, the perspective it brings. And at this point, I really just need that reassurance. A lot of times I know what I need to do, but I might not take action if I don't have the accountability, or B, I don't have the confidence all the time. And yes, I know I come on the camera and you guys think I have all this confidence, but I don't. When it comes to my own business and my own center, it's really hard to take action on those decisions. And I doubt myself and I question, am I really good with this? Can I really do this? Right? And I question myself all the time. And that's where my business coach comes in. I'll call her and and a lot of times she'll just ask me something like, well, what do you think needs to be done? And I'll tell her, and she's like, that sounds great. Go for it. I think you're onto something. Every now and then she'll say, whoa, let's back up. What happens if? And then she'll give me scenarios, right? So a business coach is just so very important, which is why I decided to become a business coach or consultant, whichever word you prefer. That's why I chose to start this company and do what I do, because it has changed my life. And I want other childcare owners to also experience that success that I've been able to experience. So I see Prerna is here with me now. So I'm going to bring Prerna on to chat with you guys a little bit.
Hi, Evelyn.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Am I echoing?
I think you're okay. It sounded a little echoey, but I think we're good.
Okay. So I have Prerna to come on this morning. I'm actually going to turn my volume a little bit down. Let's see. Not sure why, but okay. So I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about her experience working with me. Prerna actually came on as one of my business coaches. She's helping me at this point with the clients that need classroom management. I've actually personally hired her in my center to help with our NACE accreditation. And she also teaches once a month in my membership program. So, tell me, I'd like you to tell my clients a little bit about working with me and how we decided to tease up and basically your experience.
Sure, I would love to. So, Evelyn and I met by coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences. I think it was the divine plan. And I have absolutely loved our friendship. And we haven't met in person yet. And I'm waiting for that day when we could hug it out because we're both huggers. What I love about Evelyn, and it feels really weird in front of you, Evelyn, to talk about what I think about you. But I think what I love about you is how kind you are, how knowledgeable you are, and how professional you are. And we joined this thing on Facebook that was to grow your business. And I loved because Evelyn recommended them because she uses them as a business coach. So I attended their live sessions. And I wasn't quite ready to commit to that. So I told Evelyn, I said, okay, would you guide me? Will you be my coach? And so we traded off. I feel so confident when I call her because she's knowledgeable and I want my business to grow, just like she was talking with you guys, that she can support you with your business growing. And I think business coaches are so helpful. I'm a coach myself, so I believe in coaches. Everybody should have a coach, and you can find a better one than Evelyn, especially if you have an early childhood business. I would highly recommend you to consider joining her membership program. She has levels, but the amount of support that you're going to get, the weekly, the monthly, the connection, to have access to somebody who's walking in front of you, who can guide you, that's priceless. That's absolutely priceless. I mean, yes, I want you to help me with my growing business. I'm a coach and consultant, and I'm a trainer, uh, because we all need somebody.
Right.
Like you said, when you're in the fishbowl, it's really hard to see the big vision. It's really hard to see your own strengths and your own paths. You need somebody outside to say, okay, try this and I'll hold you accountable. So, the accountability is, yeah. I was listening to you backstage and I'm like, yes, 10-year plan. I don't have that. I think I need
Oh
a
my gosh,
10-year
we have to
plan.
work with you on that.
I think I need you seriously. I think we need to schedule some coaching time for
We
my
do.
business because, yes, I think you have a wealth of knowledge, and I think you know early childhood space so well that really, at the end of the day, think about it. At the end of the day, the work we do in early childhood is going to touch lives for the rest of their life. So
Mhm.
it matters. It matters what we do in that space, how we connect with the teachers, how we connect with the families, the systems we have in place. I love the fact that you said it's not a daycare, it's a preschool. I can't stand that word. I absolutely
Me
can't
too.
stand that word. It's
Yes,
wrong.
and
Yeah.
that is why I try and tell my clients that I am on a mission to help them transform their centers, that daycare preschool. And I thought really want that. They really want to see that transformation of high quality.
Yeah. I think this is better. It was slightly echoing. I think this is
Okay,
better.
there we
I'm
go.
glad that I put that
I
on.
think,
Yeah.
yeah,
We're touching lives, we're touching brains, and it matters. And when you change the way you structure your policies and procedures, and this is what you're going to get from a business coach. They're going to guide you. I used to be a business coach with another nonprofit in Dallas, and this is what we did. We work with directors, we work with teachers, and it matters. It makes a difference. You can provide the highest quality early childhood, and I've seen your program. I can't wait to see it in person, Evelyn. I can't honestly wait to see it in person. But I'm seeing your program through your policies and procedures because, like you said, I'm helping your program with the
yeah,
NACI portfolio. And I'm seeing it. You can't have it out there if you don't have it in the policies. So
yes.
I can see it. You're walking the walk, you're doing the talk, and it matters.
Right. Well, and speaking of the policies and procedures that you see, I think what's even more important is to make sure that we live it, right? Like we can
Mm,
have that document and that's all good. But if my
hmm.
staff isn't living that document, then it means nothing. So what's important to know, and what part of what I do for my clients is that policy and procedure manual, my behavior plan, which is crazy. I know you probably see that 100 times.
I've seen it. It's like pages and pages of
It's
behavior
huge,
plan.
right? This is my
7 pages, I
plan.
think.
It's like, yeah, this is my behavior plan, you guys, and that's what you get as my member. But what's mostly important is to make sure that it comes to life and it becomes everyday practice. So part of what I've done is taken those policies and procedures and turned it into my 6-month onboarding plan. So my staff, it takes them 6 months to completely onboard onto my program because you want to make sure that those things in the policy and procedures are really what your center does. That has to be your
Yeah.
everyday practice. And the reason it takes 6 months is because it needs to become natural. It needs to
Hmm.
become second nature and natural. So, and I know most owners are like, oh my gosh, I can't afford to do a 6 month, but don't worry, all the job training I've done, it is totally on the job. Your
Yeah.
teachers are trained to teach and to assimilate new staff
Yeah.
into the program.
I think it matters because when you invest in staff, then they stick around. And I think this is
Yeah.
what I'm hearing majority of the time right now as I'm talking to center directors. The staff turnover is
Yes.
intense. And because of that, the behaviors are triggering, and it's very, very hard. And that's kind of what I specialize in, behavior coaching,
Yes.
challenging behaviors in the classroom. because I really think like you have to reset the stress from the adult to the child. And
Yes.
if you're taking 6 months to invest in somebody, to show them the ropes, to guide them, they're more likely to stay with
Stay with you.
you and
Yes.
commit with you. And you need somebody to commit. I was talking to a director, and she's having massive issues in her toddler classroom, and she's lost 10 teachers. And
Hmm.
she's like, I've just moved this person and I've put this person. But
Yeah.
the behavior is a symptom, right? Behavior is a form of
Yeah.
communication. And so
Yeah.
we got to go to the root of it, and it
Right.
makes a difference.
And it's
The
probably
other,
the 10 teachers she's lost is probably a huge component on why they're having these behavior problems.
100%, 100%. And you just said a minute ago that you have to walk the walk and your policies have to come in life. One of the things that I'm coaching companies with right now is for diversity, equity, and
Yeah.
inclusion. So the time is right, and we do this. We write policies on diversity and equity, DEI for short. I'll just call it that. We write policies for DEI, but we don't show it in our
Yeah.
program.
We're not
And so
training on it. Yes.
and the time is right. And if we don't want to have the conversations we're having right now with discrimination and inclusion or not feeling included, we have to start with early childhood. We got to
Yes.
change it for the next
Absolutely.
generation, so we can raise children who have self-esteem, confidence, and pride. And
Right.
so, if it's okay, may I just suggest something that I'm doing
Sure.
a session?
Absolutely.
I'm doing a session on June 19th for 4 hours, and I'm doing it with a friend of mine, Mary Ann Harmon. She's a musician. We're both coming together and we're presenting a joint session on June 19th, $50, and it's all about DEI for your program. How do you take it from your policies to your staff, down to your classrooms, and how do we have activities, and how do we? So, we're sharing practical strategies. We're sharing practical strategies to help your team and your children.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that I really am passionate about this. If we don't do it now, when?
Right, right. I agree. Yes, absolutely. And having a policy in a manual is not enough. If you may have the best policies and procedures, but if you're not living it, if there's no training, and more importantly than training, you guys, is coaching. So you've got to be coaching your staff, because according to statistics, only when a staff member or anybody, if you take a training, right, you only implement 15% of what you learned. 15.
That's
But if you
crazy.
coach, that 15 becomes 85.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
So if you do training with coaching, it becomes
yeah.
85%. That's why when you have these policies, it's all good to do a staff meeting, talk about it, and then walk away. But that is
That's right.
not going to implement
No, it's
something.
not going to show you the results. And if you're on the fence, and if you're even considering, do I need a business coach? This is something I've been doing it myself. Talk to Evelyn. I really encourage you to talk to her. You need a business coach because sometimes you just need somebody outside with fresh eyes. And, going back to our NACI consulting that I'm doing for your program, that's what it's doing. You have the policies and procedures,
Yes,
but when I meet with your staff once a week, we're taking a step back. Like, okay,
yes,
what does this look like? So,
right.
how do we tell our story? And so, yeah, I would recommend Evelyn for business
Well,
coach,
and you
100%.
make a good point. I mean, in my center, I'm within that fishbowl. So even though I consult and help other clients, I still bring you in to consult for me, because you're outside looking in. No matter how great your program is, you just need those outside people, that perspective, really just making, and that just helps me to make sure that my center is staying at the highest quality possible. If I have my center constantly under a microscope, then I know that it's always going to be that high quality, which is what I'm trying to also bring to my members.
I think that vision is really what it speaks to, right? Because quality matters. Early
Mm-hmm.
childhood years matter, with 90% of the brain getting wired birth
Yes,
to five. Like, I can't say that
absolutely.
enough, because every time I say it, I remind my brain how important early childhood years are. 90% of the brain's getting wired.
Yes,
These children are going to carry that foundation for the rest of their life. So it
right.
matters. And if you're going to provide high quality, and you're going for NACI, and NACI is all about research base, NACI is all about high standards, and NACI is constantly updating their criterias and requirements. Why? Because it's a living process. It's
Yes.
not stagnant. You can't just arrive. It's not a product, it's a journey. And so
Yes.
as the research comes out on the brain, as we learn more, we have to transfer it to our programs. I'm actually attending, NACI is having a developmentally appropriate practice symposium,
The DAP symposium.
the
Yes.
DAP symposium. I'm attending it June 9th to 10th. Even though I have been in the field for 35 years, I
Mhm.
still
Me
attend
too.
those
Yes.
because it's growing, it's
Yes.
changing. And now, they're saying the latest research is, no themes. You don't want to have themes because it's very limiting. Definitely no worksheets, which has been old-fashioned news, but they're now, updates are happening.
Right.
So to remain current, to remain committed, I mean, if you have an early childhood program, make it the best,
Yes.
whichever corner of the world you're in. Provide high quality, understand the standards, understand the requirements, and really stand out. Be
Yeah.
known for quality. Don't just be the other childcare down the road.
Yeah.
Stand
Yeah.
out. Why not?
I totally agree. And it's funny because I actually had a colleague approach me the other day and asked me, and it's fun. This is actually a retired professor actually asked me, you've already scored enough to be a 5-star center. Why are you going through NACI? Why bother at this point since your center has already reached that level? And I basically just told him, like, because I always have to find more ways to challenge myself and my staff. Because I will never, until the day I hit perfection, I need to keep growing and getting better and better and better. And since I know that I will never hit that perfection mark, since that is an
Yeah.
unobtainable growth, I always have to keep trying to get better and better and better.
But I think, Evelyn, there's another reason why you're doing that. Yes, you're pushing yourself and you're challenging your team and your program, but NACI is the gold standard,
Yes, it is.
right? So in United States, it's
It
not
is.
international. NACI is only national. In United States, if you want to have that gold star that says that you are running the program at that
It
level,
does.
because it's very
Every
rigorous.
day.
I'm
Yes.
not, the portfolio putting is a ordeal. Let's call it what it is. It's an ordeal, and it's intense. But at the end of the day, your staff can take pride
Mhm.
that I am doing the best work.
Right.
Your parents can take pride in knowing that the children are getting the best foundation.
Yeah.
So, yes, you're doing it to push yourself, but you're doing it for a deeper reason
Right.
because you want to be recognized for the work you're doing with a gold star.
Right, exactly.
So,
So
why not?
I agree. Well, I totally agree. We're already pretty much there. I'm a 5, if we can hit 5-star quality, then we're there. So why not take that
Absolutely.
extra step? I 100% agree with you. And so for those of you guys, that's where, even if you have a great program, why not push yourself further? Why not become better? My center has a 300 child wait list. I have people waiting to try to come to work for me. It's ironic, and we are very selective. That's why we like to recruit. We don't want, I went away a few years ago from what I call Band-Aid hiring, where you get desperate and just throw a Band-Aid over a problem, which is what that director you were talking about sounds like she's doing at this point. She's just Band-Aid hiring at this point. And we need to know, like, who do we need to hire? You need to know your values. You need to know your vision. And you really need to align that correctly, because then you do retain staff better. You don't have this revolving door. I actually recently had a staff member did leave, and she basically left saying that she just didn't, she literally told us that she really didn't want to have to worry that much about her job performance anymore. So I was thankful that she left. I just was like,
Yeah.
well, thank you, because that's
Wrong bus, wrong seat, wrong bus, wrong seat. Don't need to
exactly.
be, that's
Yes,
it. But,
exactly.
if anybody's listening and they're not in the quality rating system in your state, start there. So in Texas, I'm in
Mhm.
Texas, we have quality rating
Yes.
TRS here, Texas Rising Star here. Every state has a quality rating
Yes.
journey, and the quality rating comes with a mentor. Start there. And so that's what you did in Nevada. You're a
Mhm.
5-star in Nevada because you're under the quality rating system. But guess what? There's lots of funds there. So your program can get
Yes.
supplies, materials,
Yes.
trainings, resources. look into it in the state that you're at. It
Yep.
matters. Start there.
It does.
And
And that's
yeah.
a great point. So ironically, from an owner's perspective, but from a director's perspective, the quality system is great. It is, and I highly recommend it. It will help you start in the journey. But from an owner's perspective, it can get very expensive. So that's where coaching comes in hand, because I've gone through it. I actually did, when I went through the quality rating when we first started. Oh gosh, with that it was like 10 years ago. I actually had to end up hiring my business coach after. So I worked with them simultaneously. We worked with our quality rating and my business coach at the same time to just basically create that marriage to make sure that we were really putting those business practices into place. Because when the quality rating people come in, they're going to show you what your classrooms need. They're really going to focus on classroom management, what you're doing for the classroom, how you're treating the parents, but they're not showing you how to run your business. So you can get, and I've seen this happen continuously, where these centers will achieve like a 3-star, 2-star rating, but they don't put it into business practice. So the next time around they drop because they just, so that's where I come in, and I can help you really turn this into your business practice. I can also help you to see, how do you make this financially feasible? How do you make this where you can have those high quality, but also make it profitable for your company? And so you can pay higher wages and really just balance all that out.
I think that's it. I think that's it at the heart of it, right? You have to run it like a business.
Yes.
Early childhood, the passion has to be there, that you have to want to do this, and you have to care for quality, but really you have to run it like a business. If you don't exist, and then you have the staff turnover, and we've seen that story many times.
Yes,
And so
absolutely.
if you don't want to be that story, call Evelyn, talk to her, and figure out how you can be here 10 years later, how your business can grow, how you can grow. Yes, we are so scheduling my business coaching seriously with you.
Yes, I also definitely need to get your
I'm going to hold you to it. We're doing this. We're walking this.
Yes,
We're doing this. I love
absolutely.
it.
So also, I'll announce that tickets are going on sale today for the conference, which Prina is hopefully, as of right now, Prina is scheduled to do that also. So if any of you guys want to work with Prina or myself, Prina is a part of my team at this point. I've contracted her to teach during the month, and also she is coaching some of my clients too, if you choose to go in that direction. So if you want to work with either one of us, make sure you reach out to me for a consultation today. And I'm going to be actually posting finally. I have so many people messaging me ready to buy their tickets to the conference.
Okay, you didn't say the big important thing, where this is happening. You got to share that.
Yes, I do. So I actually have the banners too. You guys can look it up. Atlantis Resort in Reno, Nevada. That is where the conference is happening. It's going to be October 22nd through the 24th, I believe it is.
24th is there.
Yes. And so we have so much exciting things happening for the conference. We put together a business conference for business leaders, and we did some surveys to see, what do you guys want? What do owners and directors really want to see? And what we got is, you guys want to learn about business. Most conferences are all about, or they put a huge emphasis on classroom management. But this time we're going to be on business practices, right? How do you run a solid company? And the other thing you guys told us is, you want to have fun. You want to really we've been locked up from COVID, so you want to have fun. So we are planning some really fun things for you guys. We'll be learning Thursday, Friday. It's going to be some really great business opportunity learning. And then in the evenings, we're going to have fun. And Saturday, we're going to be actually taking you guys up to Lake Tahoe.
That's the one. That's the one. Oh my God. I can't wait. I am so there.
I love Tahoe so much, and I'm blessed enough to live pretty close to it. So we're going to take you guys up to Tahoe for just a fun day. And for those of you who stick around on Sunday, I'm going to be taking you up to Zoo and Around, my childcare center. So I'm so excited. I'm going to be posting for ticket sales today. So I'm very excited about that. And one other thing that you guys really said when we did the surveys is that you didn't want to be sold to. I guess a lot of the business conferences you go to, very many of you who filled out my survey basically said that you feel like each session was just a commercial to buy something.
Mm.
So that is something I am completely staying away from. I'm selecting different leaders who, I've talked to each one every time. Like, we're not selling, we are educating, and that's it. And so that is basically what we're going to look at. Of course, we'll have vendors are fun. So we will have vendors, but nobody on the stage is going to be standing there.
But the vendors is an option. You can either
Yeah.
buy or not buy.
And you don't even have to walk through the vendors, right? You
There
don't
you
have
go.
to. Yes, you can choose to go see them.
You
I
can
love
choose.
vendors, but yeah. So
I think I agree with that. I think if it sounds salesy and if it sounds pushy, it just is off-putting. We
mhm.
sometimes it's just I'm excited to learn. I can't wait to come. I know I'm going to learn a ton. So I'm excited and ready, and I'm so happy you're doing it in person.
I know I'm so excited about doing it in person too. Get to finally connect and meet with a lot of people we've been seeing for COVID. We've made a lot of online friends, so now we get to actually be together, give hugs, and just meet each other
Love
now.
it.
We're so
Love it,
excited.
love it, love it. I know you're going to sell out like in a minute. I just know that. I think you're just going to sell out.
I hope. Well, I'm hoping so. So the next year we'll make it even bigger. But
Yeah.
so for those of you, if you're interested in becoming one of my coaching clients, just giving you guys a quick run view. Every Tuesday we have training in my membership group. Prerna is one of my trainers. I also have a financial advisor who does a training. I train on business practice. So every week we have training. All of the trainings I've done for the last year are pre-recorded. I record them and they're in our membership group, so you can replay a year's worth of trainings where I literally train every week for a year. There's a ton of information. You also get my policies and procedures, my onboarding procedures, everything. I've trained on all of this. So each packet comes with a training. You're not going to run blind. You also meet with, you get a monthly meeting with me where I can set up your accountability, or you can choose to meet with Prerna. If you really just need that classroom management from a manager's perspective, you can choose to meet with Prerna. You can choose to meet with me. My director, Brandy, also actually is someone that you can meet with. I also have 2 more people coming on board. For those of you who know Corey Berg, she's actually coming on board as one of my accountability advisors, so you could choose to meet with her. And so if you're an owner who needs director training too, my director will train you. And I also have one more person coming on board with me who can help with church-based, and she's actually a regional director. So if you run multiple centers, she can help with that also. So
what's her name?
Her name is Karen Brown. So Karen was one of my clients who graduated from my program. So I just told her, like, hey, you've done an amazing job as my client. Now come on in and be one of my coaches. So you guys have lots of options. What I'm trying to do is just, what do you need? Where is your center struggling? And then we can connect you with the right person in order to help with that struggle. So I'm also available every week for 2 office hours. And I'm sorry if you guys can hear my dogs in the background. They're playing with the dogs in the front.
The joy of working from home.
Exactly. Yeah. So you guys can, I'm available for my office hours twice a week for an hour each on Monday and Thursday. I just hop on Zoom, and you can hop on and off as you need it. You can be there for the whole hour, or you can come in for 5 minutes and just ask me a question. So a lot of my clients, if you guys want to work with Prerna, you still get access to me, because I do have my open office hours twice a week, plus you get that weekly training. So let me know if you're interested. Send me a message. Tell me in the comments, and I will message you. But I hope to hear from more of you guys, and I hope you guys will be joining us soon.
Yes, I would say if you're on the fence, just connect with her. It's worth it. It's absolutely 100% worth it to have Evelyn on your side. I know your business will grow. I know you'll do great, and you'll be part of a wonderful team. It feels so good to belong to the tribe.
Yes, absolutely. And even just that, I know sometimes being an owner or a director can be very lonely. Some of my girls come in and they just need that connection. They just need that togetherness. And a lot of times my office hours just becomes that. It's just us getting together, chatting, and really just a support group.
Yeah, and we can't do it alone. It takes a village to raise a child, and it takes a village to run a program. So join the tribe.
Yep. Well, thank you, Prerna.
Thank you, Evelyn.